Hey, welcome everybody. Pine Grove News Live, 6 o'clock right on the dot. That's what I like. Let me turn this music off. Okay, everything seems to be set. Let's go see if we are live on YouTube. Don't have to rely on that if I end up not renewing Mixler. So, I don't know, just something I'm trying to cut back in some of the things that I am spending out there. Because I like to do other things with my money besides throw it away. Yeah, so God bless everyone. I hope you're doing okay. And if you're not, you will be okay. Yeah, there's a, let's put this out there first, okay? Let's do that. That is this fair use, okay? We'll put that out first. Now, come on, what's going on? So, I don't know. I'm always listening to the news. I don't know if you are. Bad habit, I guess. I don't know. I always want to know what's going on. Don't want to be deceived either. So, I mean, you got to, that some of this stuff out there is just out there to get a response up from you. That's it. And I'm guilty of that as well. Got a few notes here that may not make any sense till we get to it, but let's go with this one first. There's apparently 8 or 9 more measles cases, which brings the total to 1,250 measles cases in the United States so far. 75% of that is from New York. Imagine that. 75% of it is from New York. So I don't know about you, but I never did like the cities. I don't like the cities because there's a lot of one-way streets. Get lost, you have to drive miles, and it's just all the hustle and bustle and bumping up against people. Anyway, been to New York a couple times. Almost missed my bus the first time. Yeah, that wouldn't have been too well. Been to New York when what was it? Was it Sandy? That Hurricane Sandy hit New Jersey, New York, took out the boardwalk, all that stuff. I went there as a employee of a company that did cleanup there. So I was in New York, right at the beach, cleaning up all the sand that went into the streets. Yeah, I remember that well because I was actually shot at when I was working. Yeah, put us on one of the streets. Myself, basically flagging trucks in, pick up sand, and I was shot at. I thought it was a real gun at first, but ended up being, I guess, a paintball gun. People from across the street, a couple gentlemen were shooting at me. It was bouncing off the cars. That's how I knew I was being shot at. Actually told the police, and they parked the car out there to see if it would happen again, kind of using me as a guinea pig, I guess. And it did happen again. They went into the building, and while that was going on, they were shooting people across the other street closer. People, you could hear them getting hit. Anyways, crazy times. But there's a lot of things that are out there right now that are being talked about that we really need to pray on things. We need to pray on them because there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be frightened. There's a lot of people who are going to be woken up for the first time with the things that are coming. And they may be coming imminently, anytime. And if they come, you can expect, us to go. You can expect some kind of rapture out if these things come, because it's going to be big. It's going to be the launch pad, I guess, for everything just to go totally bonkers, like it isn't already, right? So we got some other dates for you too. I mean, William Mount came out with a video today. It was talking about August or October 17th and October 19th. And it may have been about the thing with the troops, the National Guard being called out. But we're going to get to that in a minute as well. I'm going to go over some other news before we get to that, because you really need, it's just big problems going on. I think it may be because, President Trump, I mean, he is not going, they expected Trump to fold a long time ago. He's putting up a fight, and he's not going, that guy, the pride in that guy, he is not going to lose this fight. And so you'll find out what he's doing, and what he's doing right now is stirring up the Democrats, okay? Even the ones that are no longer in office. And they're all worried, okay, because of this Biden thing and exposing the corruption that has gone on, especially during the 2016 election. That it wasn't Trump that was interfering with the election, it was the other side, in big time. And we'll get to that in a minute too. So what I want to kind of set here is this, okay? Excuse me. There's a lot of talk out there about martial law. It's been talked about before. There's been talk about a coup before and now. A lot of things. And with this martial law thing, I mean, there's a lot of things that we can, have martial law declared, and we'll get into that too. Gil Brazard, I wanted to let you know, has an update out there. You can go to his Facebook and just type in Gil Brazard, Brossard, and you can look at his site. We've been following him for a while. He's kind of his dates or his timing, that he said Planet X, Nubaru, whatever you want to call it, was supposed to arrive at least a year ago, maybe even longer. But I do believe that he had 2021 as the least likely scenario. But the way it's going, and if you just listen to the news tonight, you'll find out that it may be the scenario. Okay, there's a lot of talk about things coming down. A lot more meteorites are coming down, a lot more close calls that we're getting. The distances between us and the moon that these meteorites have been flying by, and they're awfully close. Gil Brazard predicted, and one of his predictions is the path that this Nubaru and its debris that is going to be in front of it and behind it. One of his predictions is that, it states in the Bible, right? What was it? 1/3 or 1/4 of the world will burn up. And he mentioned in there about North America and South America, specifically North America, that would be hit with this debris. Now, is this what they want to impose martial law for? Is this something that they see coming, and they need these National Guard to keep or help, civil servants and so on and so forth? We'll find out. Just remember, they didn't order all those, coffin liners for nothing. And our government prepares well in advance of everything. Spends more money or limited pockets in doing so, and don't tell you. And also, there's talk out there too. There's a headline out there about them being able to, and you should have realized this a long time ago, being able to turn on your phone and record anything that's going on the other side of that camera at any time. And they're saying that with the phone, but just remember, they can do that with your TV. They can do that with a lot of smart appliances you got as well, at least listening, hearing. So, this martial law thing, it's been talked about. I mean, they're talking about our economy, collapsing at any moment. That would be a definite big problem. You would have total chaos. So, going to need a lot of prayer. Those who aren't right with the Lord, who do not know the Lord, time to get right with Him. Because He's going to be coming back, and He's going to take His prepared ones. And we are going to meet Him in the air. Okay? And it may not be all of us. I do believe that some will be left behind who are still Christians and, for the most part, and will go through some of these harsh things. And because it says that, later on, I forget exactly where, but it mentions, the first resurrection. The people who are dead in Christ will rise first, and then they who are left will meet Him in the air. Any case, I'm still learning that, and you should be studying that too. The tribulation, the great tribulation, the rapture. Maybe there's more than one. I don't know. Go read it. Go find out. That's what I'm finding out. Finding out a lot of things. But let's get into the news. Give you some updates first. Well, let's go to this weather first. Get that out of the way. This one is from Big Wobble. One to watch. Explosive development from a tropical storm to super typhoon in less than 24 hours. Super typhoon Hagibis is eyeing Japan. Okay, so that's the only thing that's excuse me, going on right now as far as tropical disturbances and so on. I just looked at it. Here's AccuWeather. So you got nothing listed in the Atlantic, East Pacific, South Pacific, Indian Ocean, and just this one, in West Pacific. And I believe that is that typhoon. Okay, ramping up, hit Japan. Let's see. Let's go to, here is an update. Okay, you must remember this. This is, remember the admission scandal? The rich people. I have the money to make a difference, so that's what they did. Paying the schools and other people. I mean, I think the people who received those bribes should also be arrested, should they not? Not just the people who paid to get their children into selective schools. So this California winemaker gets the longest sentence yet in admissions cheating scandal. Yeah, I've heard of only one other one, and she was the one from what is it? This little house or no? This house or house? I forget what was the name of that. Remember the two twins girls, and I think even I forget. They're right in a. I could see them in my head, but I can't put out their names. But she was in that series anyway, that TV series. That's how I remember her. And she just got, I think it was community service and probation, whatever, probably a fine. This guy gets 5 months in prison. So he paid $50,000 to his daughter's SAT scores to be artificially inflated, and agreeing to another $250,000 to have her fraudulently recruited at the University of Southern California as a water polo player. Anyways, California, he was sentenced by the U.S. District Judge Indra Tawani to 5 months in prison, 2 years of supervised release, ordered to complete 500 hours of community service, and to pay a fine of $100,000. So in May 2019, Hunias pleaded guilty to one count of conspiracy to commit mail fraud and honest services mail fraud. How can you be? How can it be honest if you committed fraud? I don't get that. Honest services mail fraud. Okay, whatever. So the government recommended the 15 months in prison and 1 year supervised release and a fine of $95,000. I mean, 15 months in prison for somebody like him. I mean, regardless, they all need to be punished for this. I mean, this is the problem with them, having the money and thinking that they can get away with everything. And this is the whole thing that's going on with our politicians right now. It's just about all of them corrupt. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm sure Trump somewhere along the way has twisted something or gave somebody or paid somebody off to do something in order to get contracts or whatever. I'm just assuming though. And pray to the Lord and repent if I'm wrong, obviously. But that's the part of the what do you want to call it? That's the part of this whole setup in the United States that I don't like. The capitalist part. If it was done the right way, it might be okay, but it's not. It's been corrupted. Okay, simply corrupted. And so I'm thinking about, before I get to this, I'm going to do some other news here. So for a second, let's go get some other news here. This is from End Time Headlines. I don't know. This looks familiar. I know I did this on Friday. I did something about the Iraqi Christians who are, protesting. A couple have been shot. I don't know if this is the same one, but it looks like it. But it's different. They're holding up images of Christ amid this, deadly anti-government protest. At least 104 people have been killed. Wow, that's a lot. I thought there was only like 9 on Friday. That's just a huge jump, man. More than 6,000 wounded. 6 bloody days of unrest that plagued Iraq. Yeah, we've heard about the protests. The college people there and the leaders, the religious leaders, that they don't want in there. And it's been going on for a long time. So anyways, but I have some other Muslim who I talk to from time to time, trying to school me on a couple things. That all our media is fake and that nothing we say here is the truth. I welcomed him to tell me what the truth is. But instead, he listed a couple verses from the Quran, and that was the end of our conversation. And at the time, my keyboard was not typing. So that may have been, Holy Spirit intervention. So with that, this is very interesting too. We got to take this into consideration with everything else that's going on too, okay? Because you really do have to remember all this. Israel is right now negotiating a historic pact with Arab Gulf states that will provide peace and safety in unprecedented end times. Okay, when they say peace and safety, and they're just now negotiating, but when they've come out and finally agreed to some pact and claim peace and safety, sudden destruction will come. That's what the Lord says in his word. Okay, I'm sure they'll post it down here. Yep, that would be Thessalonians 5:2-3. For when they say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. So, what else is going on? And this, the Pope at work too. Pope Francis anoints 13 new Chrislam-friendly cardinals who will help guide the Roman Catholic Church into aiding both the LGBTQ plus and Islam. You know what that plus is? I think you should know what that plus is because we talked about it. That plus, folks, is the pedophilia that is going to be and is slowly being recognized in this group, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. We are there, man. We're in those days. All right. What else we have here before I get to that? Oh, this one I didn't quite understand. I had 2 days ago, but from the Wall Street Journal. This flash drought. Okay. I know they're coming up with all kinds of words for their weather warfare or geoengineered weather. And now they got this flash drought. I mean, we know about flash frozen. We know about, polar vortex and asthma tornadoes, asthma storms, whatever, asthma lightning. That was in Australia. Flash drought, though. How do you get a flash drought? I mean, what? Did they take these dew weapons or something and superheat the ground in the area in certain direction and just dry it out? They could probably do that. That's the only way I can see that you will be able to get instant flash drought. Crazy. And of course, you should remember that they're still doing this, okay? This is a update. Sacramento Bee. This is from the Sacramento Bee, California, okay? Stockton is given $500 a month, no strings attached, and here's how they're spending it. Okay, there's a video here. I'll leave the link. I'm not going to start it, but anyways, this new data released as part of Stockton's closely watched universal basic income experiment. Remember, Elon Musk says, yeah, we're all going to be, or they're going to use the universal, because they're getting the freaking robots and these kiosk things in everywhere. So, yeah, people won't have jobs. That's why they're going to go kill 700 billion people. Yeah, because they don't have the money to pay 705 billion people $500 a month universal income while they're robots in this Skynet of non-human beings to take over this country and run it. Crazy stuff, man. All right, so let's get into this. Yeah, and I don't know. This is a growing thing too. Okay, I know we talked about this Friday. I asked for some kind of comments on what you think about this Kanye West free worship service. All this rapper trying to, merge into Christian music, Christianity. I don't quite get it. I don't want to go study it at the moment. Hoping somebody else will, because I really do not like rap music. I think I said that too. Yeah, so come on. We got a frost apocalypse to sweep across the U.S. Could mark the end of the growing season. And we all know that our food has been in jeopardy since the flooding of the middle of our country. Our breadbasket, yeah, in California, supplies 60% of the produce for this country. Burned, except for the grapes, except for the wine, right? What does the Revelation say? But do not hurt the wine or the oil. I don't know. Does it mean it literally? The wine or the something else? Anyway, something to think about. Now let's get into what's going on, okay? There's a lot of talk about martial law. There's been orders put out, okay? And we'll get to that just 1 second. A lot of activation of the National Guards. And we'll get into that. So this from Natural News. There are no real whistleblowers, okay? Just deep state operatives trying to pull off a coup before Brennan, Comey, and Clinton crimes explode onto the scene. Well, I'm sorry, most of us already know about their crimes. What we want is for them to pay for it. I want somebody to seize that Clinton account and give it back to the people. Give it back to the Haitians, who were promised to have their country, that area there that was devastated twice, actually. Give the money back to those people. It's theirs. That's what we gave it for. No, these greedy, dark, dismal, just gross people. Can't even stand looking at them. So anyways, yeah. So here we go, okay? U.S. Marines Reserve units activated for emergency within the United States, which will come with little warning. Cites threats in the homeland. This is also from Natural News. But I'm going to tell you, there's other ones out there, and you'll see it from other places that are saying the same thing. Concerning the directive involving the United States Marine Corps reserve units via Meridims number 550/19, signed on October 3rd, 2019, authorized by Brigadier General Daniel L. Shipley, Director, Manpower Plans and Policy. Notably, Brigadier General Daniel Shipley was nominated by President Trump for the rank of the Major General, according to January 16th, blah, blah, blah. Defense Governor press announcer. Before serving in his current role, Shipley served, I don't really care about this. The new order is summarized as Marines ordered to active duty, ISO, which means in support of. So these Marines are ordered to active duty in support of defense support of civil authorities. And there's a link here to see the full text in the order. Okay, we're just going to touch on a few things, and I want to bring you to the other headlines. There is disinfo being calculated about this order, claiming it was canceled. But the cancel order is 300/14, not 500/19. In fact, this new order, 500/19, replaces a lot of previous orders, reestablishing the urgency of the situation and making sure any action to defend the homeland is authorized by orders that are in good standing. So many observers are concerned that with Democrats like Republican Caleb openly talking about which prisons to use for imprisoning President Trump and his cabinet, and with Hillary Clinton positioning herself to run for president, we've talked about that. She's paying her or collecting donations for it. I heard another, I don't know if I put it up there. But yeah, they're planning this coup, and they're going to insert Hillary in there. take Trump out and without elections put her in there. I don't know how that's going to happen, but that's one scenario. Okay. And with the IG's FISA abuses report set to drop in a few weeks, the deep state Democrats have reached a point of desperation. They most certainly have. They're desperate. They're just vile creatures. They're definitely just, consider the source. They're demonic. The dark forces that are trying to really mess things up. They are creating chaos now. There's a lot of people talking about civil war. And I asked a question, civil war on who? Is it just going to be the Democrats against the Republicans? I mean, who is the civil war actually going to, what are the sides going to be? Okay. I mean, is it going to be what, the 40% that wanted Hillary Clinton in there against the 60%? Or say, let's just say 50% that wanted Trump in there, the other 10% don't know what they want. Is that what the Civil War people are thinking about? No, people are not going to start fighting each other over this Democratic demonic party and Trump, who has done so much for this country already. In any case. Yeah, so point of desperation where they may attempt to initiate a hot coup. They were calling it a soft coup, but I guess the soft coup is not working because he's not putting up with it. So this hot coup, kinetic engagement, arrest or execution of the president and his cabinet to avoid going to prison themselves. That's the problem, people. Trump has opened up this box of worms, this Pandora's box. For instance, you can't help, there's, like I said, I mean, I'm not saying they're all corrupt, but I'm saying it's probably all. Yeah, and none of them, I mean, is this why the government bought the guillotines? I mean, I don't know. I think that's for another thing, but so, what they want to do is they want to do this martial law thing, okay? So that they can come and collect our guns. That's the only way they're going to be able to do it. So they're going to try it that way. Martial law. All you people who listen to this Q and the Q reports, and him, telling you to go around and accept this martial law, you guys are all crazy. You know what that means? You don't even know what that means. Go research martial law and what the government is allowed to do under that. They can come into your house. They can take anything they want. Of course, they can do that now without martial law under the, Protection Act. Town of Enfield calling. Anyways, people. Yeah, so this is the other thing. Sponsored solution for the Health Ranger store. What is that? Preloading your system with stable iodine. Oh, we got a freaking commercial inside the written. All right, so let's go on to this other. Right, so first we'll go to Q alerts. Okay, I normally don't spend hardly any time. I haven't been over here in a long time. Somebody pointed this out to me. Steve Quayle has, his Q alerts. Okay, and not the Q you think, but, well, maybe it is. Maybe I'm wrong there. But you can go to stevequayle.com. I mean, this is where you can get the list of the dead scientists right here, okay? You can get, I guess, I thought he used to have a list of all the dead bankers as well, but well, we're going to go over here, and these are the alerts that he's got up here. Obviously, the latest one was yesterday, October 6th. This important update on President Trump activating the Marine Corps and the threatened armed corps against him. So let's go read that. Okay. He says, hello, Steve. 1, yes, the order indeed signed and activated. 2, we are also close to martial law, as well as in the event of martial law. Trump will remain president for the duration of the martial law. 3, internally, White House is on lockdown. I haven't heard too much about that, but 4, no matter if you like it or dislike Trump and his behaviors, he is still legally the president. That's a fact. That's true. People should be very concerned about the situation in Washington, D.C. Everyone is going loco. Well, look who's in charge of everything. Chaos. Great time for a remnant to earnestly pray. Amen. Alert, urgent flash message just went out to all the UN troops. Locations in the U.S. changing status from waiting to full alert and ready to move within minutes. And remember, people, we've talked about this. We have had sightings, even recently, of UN troops in this country. We've seen UN military equipment on rails moving across the country. I mean, that could have been just equipment that was bought for them and being shipped out. But I've also heard that, theories, I guess, speculation, that they are here and they are hiding in the tunnels that we have under this country. We have very extravagant tunnels under this country. There's maps of them. So anyway, the third alert, other parts of our military now on high alert. The messages for the UN troops indicate nationwide with detailed orders to follow at activation. I expect the U.S. military to be divided. I heard that it would be too. I heard that that's why they have UN in here, because American soldiers will not fire on Americans. UN soldiers will. So, this is based on the prior behaviors of the different people in the Joint Chiefs. SQ, I asked him if data indicates bank closing this week. He said, no, not at this time. Let me interject that. One thing that happened to me, I have notes on my bank account that there will be things being done and that I was not able to pay any bills over the weekend, this coming weekend, and 2 weekends from now. They have dates in it. So I'm taking all my money out on Thursday. I was warned, and we were all warned before, if they declare some kind of bank holiday coming up, give you a warning that the bank is going to be closed for the weekend, you're going to try and get as much money out as you can. You really should. And if it's just an inconvenience, man, you can put it in the next Monday, whatever, or move it somewhere. I mean, they're doing this in Hong Kong. They've now, are starting to take over all the bank accounts there. Yep. I don't know if I brought it up here. I don't see why I wouldn't, but may not have. And they've doubled the military there and a lot of other things going on there. So they're desperately trying to avoid a financial crash at this time. Banks stable so far. Fed is now upping the money being pumped into the banks at $150 billion per night beginning tomorrow. Remember, we put that out Friday or Wednesday of last week, that we are now doing the quantitative easing, the EQ. Again, we're bailing out the banks. Who's going to bail out the people? I mean, is this what they're doing? They're claiming it's for the people. What are they doing with all this money? I mean, it's simple, man. Get somebody in there to reduce the government and stop their, crazy ass spending. I don't care about their, you know, black, what do you call them? Black something. Their black ops operations. Give them some money. But there's a lot of things that could be shut down. Open up some industry. Put those people back to work there. I know it can't happen overnight, but we're going to have to go through very hard times if we're going to survive. And is this part of the Great Tribulation? Is this going to be that 7-year start of the supposed tribulation just for Israel? No, I don't believe it's just for Israel. We have been grafted in to Israel, both olive trees, the rough looking one and the nice looking one. I don't know, just paraphrasing, of course. They were grafted in. They became one. We are one body in Jesus Christ. We're not going to be separated just because of the tribulation, just because of the great tribulation. We're already going through tribulation. We're going through the time of sorrows. I think we've already passed the time of Jacob's sorrows. Maybe it's they're all the same. But great tribulation is more. It's definitely more. That's why they call it great. We've already been going through tribulation. Ever since Jesus, we've always been going through some kind of tribulation, but more so, especially if we're going to call ourselves Christians, right? Come on. Great tribulation and tribulation are separate. 7-year great tribulation, okay? Yes, God is going to be angry. He is going to bring down some judgments on some people. He's going to wake you up. He's going to give you one last chance. And you got 7 years to do it. Look, in the days of Noah, they got what? What'd they get? They got 120 years. God gave them 120 years. I forget how long it took to build the ark. Was it 50 or 100 years? But God gave those people 120 years. Gave them that time to change their minds, and they wouldn't. Anyways, that's for another story. So back to this from IntelliHub. DoD, Department of Defense, prepares for martial law in CONUS. And I really don't know what that means at the moment. I was trying to figure out what it meant down here. I don't know what CONUS is, sorry. Maybe we'll find out. So Marines approved for activation on American soil. This is Marines. These are National Guard as well. It will come with little warning. Consider this the warning. Prepare yourselves. Go pray. Pray for all these insane and demented and confused people to have clearer minds and better sense and open to reason. Or just pray that the Lord comes quickly. Let's get it all over with. I know a lot of people are tired. Every once in a while I get tired too. If you, I don't know, what's his name, JT, the one who spoke at Jan Marget's speech about us being, tired. We're all tired. A lot of us are hanging on to the end. And all I can say is we're going to be okay, man. We're going to be okay. Psalms 91. We are protected under the wings of the Almighty. Yeah. So the Department of Defense issued an order signed by, and we just read this. Didn't I just read this all? I read it in this one. But there was something different here that I wanted you to see. Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to read the reasons why they would come up with this martial law. Their reasons for it. So, anyways, this request for federal assistance will come with little warning. As required, the Marine Corps must rapidly mobilize RC units and personal IAW this Meridim in order to respond to the threats of homeland. I'm going to go and research that some more. I don't know that much about it, about this military. Meridim. I wish Laura knew something about that. She could tell me. It's IAW, RC units. So, you know what this, the reason why I discussed in the beginning, Gil Brizard's predictions, his calculations actually, they're not predictions, it's just giving you a relative time that these things would come, and not guaranteed because he never said it was guaranteed. But anyway, so translated, this means that martial law may come sooner than later, as the U.S. government appears to actually be anticipating nothing short of an impending civil war. And he got asteroid strike in red, and then volcanic eruption in red, and then in black goes on earthquake, tsunami, or some other type of similar but expected disaster scenario. You hear what I just said? Similar but expected. They're expecting this big disaster scenario. The activation request states a commander's immediate response authority to save lives, prevent human suffering, or mitigate great property damage within the United States is set forth in Reference A. Commanders shall comply with Reference A, this Meridimin, and any supplemental direction provided by higher headquarters. But just remember, they have asteroid strike and volcanic eruption in red. Okay? Expected disaster. They've been expecting something for a long time. Okay, so I got something here on some volcano going off just the other day. Yeah, just right here. Strong puff at Shiflu volcano, ash to 11 kilometers, 38,000 feet in Russia. We just have these things. We're still, worried about Yellowstone, San Andreas Fault. Well, they're not talking about earthquakes. They're talking about an asteroid strike. So who knows? I mean, maybe this thing that Gil Brizard has been predicting is finally coming to pass. He keeps saying that these things will come around this time too, between October and December. So maybe this is the year, if that's the case. I mean, we could be hammered. I mean, 1/3 of the earth will be destroyed, and it will happen to North America and South America. That's why people are saying that all these guys, these retired soldiers or Navy men, and they're going to the Ozarks in Missouri or wherever it is. It's not safe. North America is not safe. No matter where you go, I think it's time to get out of America. Or run to Pizza. Who knows? Anyways, man, we've been talking, me and Will Watchman, and the consensus is that things have been relatively quiet, kind of an eerie quiet. Maybe even the past 2 days, specifically more today. I don't know. Sometimes we, get these feelings and nothing happens. Prefer it to happen that way. I don't have to be right. Neither does anybody else. So I don't have to be right about these things. We prefer not to be. This wants you to be prepared. We should all be praying. I mean, pray for you know for God to come back. I mean, then we can live the millennia in relative peace under Jesus Christ. You know, uh, the way we should be living. I mean, he gave us the Bible also as a tool to learn how to live, how to behave with one another, how to treat one another. Nobody's following it. Well, there's a lot of people not following it, only because they love the sin and they prefer to just do what they're doing and enjoy life while little life they have, and that's it. There's a lot of people thinking, well, I'm going to do just that because I don't care what happens in the end. When I'm gone, I'm gone. I don't, it doesn't matter. I'm gone. The problem is you're really not going to be gone. You're going to be going to hell. You're going to be tormented. You're going to be tormented, and I don't mean torture, in a sense of your physical flesh is going to be tortured. No, you're not even going to have a physical body. You're going to have a spiritual body, just like, the Christians who get raptured up or who go to the Lord will have spiritual bodies. We'll all have spiritual bodies. You won't be able to die. You'll be awake in hell. Yeah. Maybe you'll have to repeat your miserable life over and over again, or a situation in your life where you made the wrong decisions for the wrong reasons. David Wilkerson talked about that, and he came pretty close, to what I just said. And I'm just basing it off him and other people that I've gathered throughout my short years in studying the Bible. I'm not going to rely my salvation on man, first of all, but not just one man, because nobody is right 100%. Nobody. I think it's good to go around and, test your waters, see what truth is out there, pick what's true in where you go, and leave what's not true behind. So anyways, there's more there at, just go there for the alerts, go see this dead scientist list. They got a list from 2004 to 16, and then from 1994 to 203. It's not updated though, and I know there's been doctors who have been killed since then. Quite a few of them. I don't know why it's not updated. Let's see if we got any more last minute news here. This is an update. This is pretty, I don't know if we'll ever see this, but remember the Japan spacecraft that went out there to land on asteroid Ryugu? So this Hayabusa #2 spacecraft deployed its last rover to asteroid Ryugu. So they're setting down or taking samples from this asteroid, and then they're going to fly it back and do some tests. So if we make it, if we're around for that, I think it's due back in 20 or 21. Anyways, let's see. So I just like the fact that they got all these close-up pictures of this rock. So with the last rover towards asteroid Ryugu, I'm going to just say Ragu, probably Ragu. On Thursday, October 3rd, the rover is expected to land by October 8th, which is tomorrow, as part of its final mission before returning to Earth. So the spacecraft will collect data and photos of the rover's descent to Ragu in the following days to study its gravity. And I like the fact that they got all these pictures, and I guess we'll get closer ones as it goes. Yeah, I like to see all, maybe even look like a square here. Is this thing square, round, what? So when viewed from a certain direction, 90 degrees west, the angle of the equatorial ridge on Ragu becomes very sharp. This feature is also discussed in the paper led by Hirabashi. Anyways, I'm going to follow that. So when's it going to come back? This thing won't settle down. Since then, it has gathered soil samples and other data on a series of missions focused on collecting clues from the solar system's origin. Rover 2, which resembles a circular cookie tin, was released from the Minerva 112 container at about 1 or 0.6 miles above the surface of the September 28th. The rover continued on its way towards the surface while Hibachi started climbing to a height of 6.2 miles to watch rover's descent. The rover should land by October 8th. Now, I would really love to see that real time. I know, well, they don't get it in real time like video. I don't think they get it in data, and it's ones and zeros that digital and you put together to make a video. So very interesting. And Japan is doing this, okay? Not one of the richest, countries in the world. Us. Watch asteroid to be fly during a bush. Let's see this. 35 seconds. Come on down. Oh. Okay, so it just went down there and disturbed the rock and dust around it, collected samples, kind of like a hop. Well, that was very interesting. All right. Come on. I don't know why it's being slow now. Okay, so I guess we'll call it there, and here's an update also about Trump's tax returns. Okay, apparently a Manhattan judge ruled that Trump had to show past 8 years of business and personal tax returns. And Trump went out there and almost immediately signed or filed a, I don't know what they call it. He signed a piece of paper, saying, "Well, I don't like that. Let's do it again. Review it." What do they call that? Man, some words just do not come to me, man. I don't know why. So, anyways, he's bought more time. Okay, don't know how much time because that judge wanted it released right away. I don't understand what it makes a difference of his tax returns or not. It's going to show that, yeah, he, like I said before, everyone does it. Use loopholes and whatever means they could to not pay taxes as legal as you can. Sometimes some people, and I've tried it, just down and out, lied about one thing or another. But anyways, I really don't care what he did with his tax returns. Unless he owes tax money, then he has to pay it. But, that's why the rich get away with that. And it looks to me like somebody is interfering with the video, so I'm going to have to end it. I had to refresh on my watch page to get a clearer picture because it just went blurry. So we'll end it right here. Okay, I think we got enough. There's a couple of things out there that we don't won't be lost if we don't talk about them. So I want to be able to put this. I'll leave it there. I can end it there and get this picture on the video. So be prepared. Make sure you have water. Make sure you have a planned route somehow. Okay. What if the internet goes down? That's what they're planning to do in Hong Kong. They're going to shut the internet off. We won't hear from them unless we get phone calls from them or whatever. They won't be able to use the internet to get anything out. Hong Kong has, said that they're going to do that, as well as, go into their bank accounts. So, keep each other, keep your family close, keep your loved ones close, know where they are all the time, especially now. Things hurt. I know I keep saying this, but the more I say it, it's like, it's like birth pains. They're just getting more frequent and more painful. So please, let's keep in prayer. Let's pray for our leaders. Pray for Trump's protection. Pray for one another, that we are strong and able to withstand this entourage, this barrage of evil just going all around us. Okay? Lift each other up. If you haven't heard from somebody in a while, give them a call. Text them. Write them an email. Whatever. Let's get everybody up and praying, too. God bless you all. It's Monday. We're just starting. So we'll see you all Wednesday, hopefully, Lord willing. And just so you know, this may be my last broadcast for using Mixler, but I should be still able to get out a live video and or a recording on either YouTube or Vimeo. One of those two. So with that, everyone, God bless and peace out.